Hello everybody. Hi. I am broadcasting to you from an unusual location, which is to say, not my house. So the background is different. I'm making this video from Seattle, from Blue Jay's house, because I was here and it was the end of the month and I have all of my equipment for some other video stuff that we're doing. So I figured I would just record my vlog while I was here. So yeah, here we are. It is the end of September and the beginning of October, and it's vlog time. It's time to get caught up. You know, I'm starting to feel like a liar because I feel like every time I record one of these, I'm like, oh, I just had a really busy month. I'm sure next month will be less busy. It's just gonna be fun. We're just gonna get a chance to relax and hang out and do whatever we want. I am exhausted. I am living in a state of perpetual exhaustion because I'm so busy. Now, don't get me wrong, I like it. I like having things to do. It sucks being bored, but man, if I expected September to be any less busy than August, I was wrong. I was very wrong about that. And now, it's not because I had a ton of traveling to do. There was really only one convention in the whole month, but man, oh man, was I busy with other streams. So we started the month off with PAX West. I have to specify, it used to be, back in my day, we only had one PAX. There was just the one. It was held in a basketball court in a local elementary school. That's not true. That's very strictly not true. We have so many PAXs now, and they're adding more, and I'm going to all of them except the Australia one. I don't know if you know this. Australia, you're really far away. PAX West, it was at the beginning of the month, kind of end of last month, and I actually really like PAX West. I've talked about this a bunch of times. PAX West I have gone to like 14 times or something. Take the total number of PAX Wests, subtract 1. That's how many times I've gone. And I really like it because it tends to be fairly low-key. I don't have to fly to get there. I can just drive down. And I usually try not to schedule too many panels, which is the opposite of how I normally do cons. If you compare like TwitchCon and PAX West, they're very different for me. And the reason for that is because there are people, friends of mine, that I know, that I really only get to see, for sure, 100% for sure, at PAX West. So that was really nice. Basically, I just hung out, I took a bunch of photos, and I'll show you some of those. Yeah, the last day of PAX West was maybe my favorite because I just walked around with my camera and I took some candid portraits of people. Maybe you saw them on Twitter. They're pinned at the top of my tweet list. And I'm really proud of them. They turned out really good, and I'm learning that at cons, one of my favorite things to take pictures of is people in the midst of a deep focus. I took a bunch of pictures at Gen Con of people buying dice, and I took a bunch more pictures of people playing video games at PAX. And it's so great. You can get so much good emotion from those candid photos. So really happy with how that went, and I had a really great time. We got to do a couple of sort of normal panels. I did a roleplay panel, and I got to do Office Hours Live, which maybe you've seen. It's in the YouTube playlist. But that's fun. That's really fun. Office Hours is normally really good, and I really like it, but it's fun being able to do these live. I don't know what the question is going to be. People ask me stuff, and then I have to come up with an answer that's not just I don't know, your players sound like assholes. PAX West, that was a great time. I enjoyed it. That was the beginning of the month. It was a really nice start. And then the whole rest of the month was just jam-packed with streams. We started a brand new D&D campaign as soon as I got back. And by we, I mean me and Blue Jay and Lauren and Elf and Dave. So we started, and it's the same cast from the end of Tomb, but we got to start a brand new campaign. We're playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist. At the time of recording this, we'll do episode 5 next week. So we just did episode 4. It is a very different experience than Tomb. And I think if your anticipation of Dungeons & Dragons, if you're a person who is just getting into D&D, and your only exposure to D&D was something like Critical Role, for example, I think you would really, really like Dragon Heist. I think Dragon Heist, it's very kind of fluffy, there's lots of NPCs. Maybe it sounds like I'm describing this in a way that means I don't like it, but I am enjoying it, but I don't think that it tells the story of the mechanics of D&D as well as Tomb of Annihilation does. It's a brief adventure, it's fairly short, which means if you're streaming it, it's going to take us a year to do it. But it's a short adventure, and it's supposed to lead into Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I think that's what it's called. Halaster, Undermountain. Halaster is like a guy that lives underwater deep, and he has this mega dungeon, and it's just an excuse to dungeon around. But we are going to get whiplash when we go from like fluffy city adventure to, okay, dungeon time. It's a lot more like basic D&D from what I understand than what we're doing now. Dragon Heist feels like it should be like a Blades in the Dark module, but with like tieflings and D&D shit. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird, but it's cool. I've been enjoying it. We also started a new Pathfinder game for Roll20. So Roll20 presents Pathfinder playtest. Me, Josh, Bronze, Elf, and Dave. And it's been weird. So I really like learning new rule sets, but I don't like feeling like I don't know the answer to the rules questions. Thankfully, Dave has been so on top of the rules stuff, but it's a very different experience from D&D, which I guess is good, because if Pathfinder is going to survive, it's going to need to be. If you're curious about the playtest, we've done a couple of episodes of that. The playtest gets updated constantly. So every time we've aired an episode, the rules have been slightly different. So that's a lot to keep up with. But I think I'm enjoying it. It's a bit weird as a stream because it's not so much let's learn the stories of the characters and do funny voices, and there is some of that, but mostly it's like let's do 3 combat encounters and we'll talk about the rules. And I think there's room for that in tabletop Twitch space, right? I think there's room for mechanically focused, like learn how to play this game stuff outside of a tutorial session, right? Like I think that there's tons of like office hours, and it seems to me like every DM has a YouTube playlist of like how to be better at D&D, which is fine, but I think you can really learn a lot from watching people learn how to play. It's reminding me a ton of when I learned how to play HOTS. If you've watched the channel, the Twitch channel for a long time, you know that like I started playing and I never played a MOBA before, and now I feel comfortable saying I'm okay at that game, and we learned together. You got to watch that. So this is what the Pathfinder thing feels like to me. Obviously, Court of Swords continued through September. Far Verona continued through September. We got those spicy GM turns. The faction stuff has been very intense, to say the least, which is cool. I like it. That's what I want. But like, it's a big effort for everybody involved. So if you're playing the faction turn, kudos to you. We're all doing great. Go us. So on top of all of that, there's video games, right? So I've been playing Yakuza. We played Yakuza 0. I tried to get as much of that in as I could, and we still ended the game at, what, like 30% or something? That's a big game, but super fun. I could have just played Crane game the whole time, and that would have been fine. So that game was really cool, just like everybody said it would be, really fun. And then Pathfinder Kingmaker came out, and I have been trying to jam as many sessions of that as possible in between all of the other stuff that I'm doing. And that's been tricky the last 2 weeks because we had Roll20 Esports one shot, which... So imagine, if you will, a group of people who've never played a role-playing game before. Maybe they have no interest in playing a role-playing game. I don't know, I didn't ask them. And then there's me, and you mash them together, and you're like, cool, do a thing for 4 hours and make it fun to watch and fun to play, and go. Good luck. I did it. All right. It was a thing, and it was fun. Like I love playing RPGs with new players. If you've watched any of the times I've done this, either at Gen Con or you watched the Waypoint Dungeon World one shot, like these kinds of games are always fun for me, but they are exhausting. Because as the person who knows the rules and has the experience, and really like, it was my job to just make it fun for everybody and for the audience. And by the end of it, I remember signing off after that esports one shot and just like falling out of my chair. Just normal sessions of an RPG are tiring, but so we did that, and then we also did the Warhammer, the roleplay Warhammer Fantasy, which I know a lot of people were really excited about because it's a new rule set. The fans of Warhammer are big fans, right? People who like Warhammer tend to like it quite a lot. So there was a lot of pressure there, but man, it was fun. I love evil cultists. I love them. I love them so much. They're my favorite bad guys. Squirrely, gross. If you watch the GM prep, I grossed myself out several times. So if you haven't checked that out, you can go watch. You can watch me have an idea and then gross myself out and then laugh about how gross I am. That was really fun. I got to play with Pocket and Dodger and Sam, and I haven't played with them since Nebula Jazz, and my God, they are good people. It was so cool to see Pocket so excited, and Dodger was just like, Dodger's very good at yes and. Dodger's like, yep, I'm going to take whatever dumb thing you just threw at me, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it interesting. And I gotta say, like, I am so impressed with Sam. I have played with him here and there throughout his role-playing career, and man, he's getting good at it. If you watch the Warhammer one-shot, there are several times where he aggressively takes on director stance, and I'm just like, Sam, yes, you're doing it, buddy. I'm so proud of him. I would love to see him GM something. Him, and I would love to see Max GM something, because I think they both have a lot to bring to the table. I actually think that Max and Dan could co-GM something together. Dan could be the rules game master, and Max could be like the story and funny voices guy. I would love to see that. I think that would be very cool. So anyway, we did this Warhammer one-shot. It was great. Got to play with Bike Man again, who since then, Bike and I have had several conversations on Twitter. He's popped into my stream. I popped into his. I like Bike Man. He seems like a good guy, and he knows things about movies, which I like. So that was September. It was a lot. We're here at the end of it, and I'm gonna just lie down and sleep for, well, like 5 minutes, because as soon as I get back, I got a bunch of Far Verona faction turn stuff to do. So right back into it. October, Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'm gonna try to spend as much time with that as I can. I'm slotting in a bunch of streams. So if you want to watch that live, I mean, tune in on Twitch, because it will not make it to YouTube for a while. Because if we're releasing one video every day for Yakuza, and by the time you watch this, we'll be around like video 12 of like 60. So you're going to be watching Yakuza for a while. So in December or so, you'll get to watch the VODs for Kingmaker, unless you're a Twitch subscriber, so go subscribe. Yeah, so you can tune in and watch that. Pathfinder Kingmaker has been really fun. I think Pathfinder makes a great video game, and I have been enjoying it. Lesbian Death Squad have been marauding across Galarian, killing bad guys. It's a great game, and it's one of those games where I think everybody that I know that likes role-playing games is kind of playing it right now, so there's a lot of discourse and discussion about it. Kingmaker is going to be taking up all the video game time. All of the usual shows will carry on through the month of October. I am taking 2 weekends. I'd say 2 weekends off, but they're not really. One is, I'm going to Virginia. Never been to Virginia before. I hear it's beautiful. Going to Virginia for a wedding. You may know Sunder, Colin, and Jess Silden. They're getting married. Gross. Gross. But that's okay. You know what? I don't want to... My friends can make disgusting choices if they want. But they're getting married, and so I'm going to go out to the weird mountains of Virginia for their wedding. Honestly, I am just excited to go to a place I've never been before and take pictures of it. So there's that. That'll happen at the end of the second week of October. And then at the end of October is TwitchCon, which... I love, because every time I announce that I'm going to a convention, or every time I announce a panel or anything, people inevitably are like, hey Adam, can I watch this panel on stream? And I'm like, nope. So TwitchCon that's not the case. Yes, all of the stuff I'm doing at TwitchCon you should be able to watch. So we've got the LGBT panel, I've got some tabletop stuff I'm doing, we're doing a roleplay panel, I'm going to be participating in a super secret Dungeons & Dragons game with some cool people, which I can't talk about yet, I don't know. Ask Greg Tito. Just go on Twitter and @ Greg Tito and be like, Greg, what is this thing Adam is doing? Can he talk about it? Go ask him, because I don't know if I can. So I'm sure that'll get announced. And then speaking of announcements, I have a spring engagement that I'm in the midst of planning that means that some of my European fans, some European Math Squad folks, might get a chance to meet me in person. I know this is something that people have been bugging me about for a long time. Hey, Adam, when are you going to come to some part of Europe so that we can meet you in person? And I'm like, why would you want to do that? But listen, I'm not going to judge you. I might have an opportunity to fly out there and do a thing that would allow some people to come and see me. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post about it on Twitter probably pretty soon, I think. We're going to square away the details. So that's it. It's October. It's the spookiest month. It contains Halloween, which you probably know is bullshit because the next day is my birthday. That's what counts. So gird your loins, my friend's birthday time is coming. I think it falls on a Thursday this year. I'm going to try to do an all-day thing. We're going to play another Mega Man. We'll do some community games. We'll hang out. We'll do some bullshit. It's my birthday. You know how it goes. And that's it. That'll be October. I'm not going to say it this time. I'm not going to say that I think October will be like relaxed and chill, because my life is just not that. But you can expect to see lots more photography from me, lots more video game streams, plenty of Kingmaker, and then just RPG shit for days. Just so much RPG stuff, which is great. Thanks for watching. Please continue coming and watching the videos, whether you're watching them on Twitch or you're over on YouTube. I appreciate your time and your views, and thanks for supporting me. We'll see you again at the beginning of November for an Oh My God, It's My Birthday vlog. Have a good one. Goodbye. Bon voyage. Sayonara.